Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar today. My name is Kelly Sendek, and I am a marketing manager here at Unique Venues, and I'm also the moderator for this webinar. I'm joined by Chuck Salem, who is our CEO at Unique Venues, and today's session is presented by Topgolf on the topic of why Topgolf is the ultimate unique venue experience. For this presentation, we have Sarah Labella. She is the National Sales Manager, and she will be presenting our topic today. We're also joined by Nick Kopach. He is the Senior Director of National Event Sales and Programs. And we have Joanna Valdes. She works in marketing programs for event sales. And with that, I will hand it over to Sarah so she can kick off this presentation.
Thanks, Kelly. Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Labella, National Sales Manager for Topgolf. I just want to say a quick thank you to Chuck and Kelly for setting this up. Great opportunity for us to get the brand out there even further. So, thank you for the introductions for everyone. Today, we're here to present Topgolf, a way to reimagine events and why we believe our 100 plus US venues provide that unique event experience for planners and guests. So we'll dive into the presentation, which will include an overview of the Topgolf event experience. And hopefully, if you've already planned with us in the past, you'll learn something new as well. And then following the presentation, Nick and I will answer some questions from Chuck. And you all are welcome to ask questions as well. So we'll get started. Okay, so you can drop it in the chat if you want. You can raise your hand, but curious if there are any planners that have never been to a Topgolf before. And I asked this because Nick and I are always surprised when we do these presentations by the number of people who have never been to our locations. Okay, I see one. So if this is the case, please feel free to reach out to us. We definitely would love to coordinate a site tour for you and some guests at your preferred location. So Topgolf did originate in the UK more than 20 years ago, and we've grown into a global brand. We have 101 locations currently in the US. And a fun fact, I don't know if anybody out there knows what the top in Topgolf actually stands for. But it stands for target oriented practice. So, a little background, the original concept was created by the founders who were both avid golfers. They were tired of our traditional driving ranges, which were really time consuming, and they wanted a way to measure performance. So they had this breakthrough idea, which involved a microchip golf ball, which really enabled electronic tracking of every shot. And over time, Topgolf has evolved into what you know it now as, which is really a tech-enabled driving range that is a full-service social entertainment venue. We have large event space, these full-services kitchens, bars, and lounges. And this is a map here of all of our current locations. A couple of these are outdated. Woodbury and New Braunfels are now open. Okay, so this slide features a video highlighting why Topgolf is the best choice when it comes to unique event venues. So it showcases how effortlessly we can make planning and hosting an all-inclusive experience that you won't really find anywhere else. So let's take a look, and then from there we'll kind of jump into what truly sets Topgolf apart from as a standout option.
Sarah, I'm not able to hear the audio.
The audio is not working.
Yeah, you might want to double check that setting is on again.
Let's see. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try that again. So let's see, it's a little finicky. There we go, it's gonna end. All right. So, Topgolf can really be considered for a wide variety of events, like you just saw. We offer a lot of flexible spaces that nearly fit any occasion. I will say team building and employee appreciation make up the largest portion of corporate events hosted at Topgolf. Last year, we hosted more than 80,000 team building events, with our busiest time of year being holiday season, which we call our Super Bowl, with more than 20,000 holiday parties held in December. So highlighted on this slide is a testimony from a recent planner from the brand Toast, who hosted a series of holiday parties with us last month. They noted here that Topgolf really embraced the vision for a celebration that was both responsible and wildly fun, with activity-based programming and creative options for non-golfers, which is super important. Client entertainment and corporate meetings are also common types of events hosted with us. Although many planners are still surprised to learn that Topgolf offers private event spaces. So we truly can be that one-stop shop for meetings, entertainment, food, and beverage. We will highlight fundraisers a little bit later, but this category has also become a really major part of our business. Topgolf is increasingly chosen as a preferred alternative to the traditional green grass golf tournaments. Our standard events, they range anywhere from groups of 13 all the way up to a full venue buyout for 1,200 plus guests. That depends on the location. But we also offer full level buyouts for groups of 150 to 400. And again, we'll go a little bit deeper on multi-location events later in the presentation, but it's worth noting that we do have a national events team. They manage multi-venue programs, providing that planner a single point of contact throughout the year. And lastly, I just want to highlight, while less common, Topgolf is also used for parking lot activations. We see brands use our outdoor space for road shows. Sometimes they'll even bring in a tractor trailer display, and then they'll pair that with networking events inside the venues. Okay, so our all-inclusive event packages are designed for groups of 13 or more guests. A standard Topgolf event would include side-by-side golf bays, which is essentially your event space. Each bay accommodates up to 6 players. This layout naturally really fosters networking and team building by keeping those groups close together. That's definitely an advantage to some of our competitors, where groups are spread out and divided into smaller groups for an activity. Every event includes one of our chef curated menus. These are really created to elevate that experience. They are very thoughtful, high quality, and they can range anywhere from those heavy appetizers to premium selections. And then depending on the celebration, our beverage options can range from open bar packages to drink tickets. We give you guys the flexibility to match the needs of the group. And we also have a variety of event enhancements, which I'll be elaborating on shortly. I think that will really interest you if you've already hosted an event with us in the past as well. Okay, so, I think it skipped one ahead. Okay, so in addition to our standard golf bays, which is our most common utilized event space for groups, we also have a variety of other spaces through our venues. And these can be either used in place of hitting bays or alongside them. And our buildings do vary by location, but most venues do feature a meeting space, either called our signature room or our chairman's suite. And again, both are designed for meetings with AV included. Our meeting rooms and boardrooms can, again, be reserved before, after, or even throughout gameplay, depending on your program needs. Most venues are 3 levels, with some locations in smaller markets being 1 to 2 floors. However, each level typically includes bar areas, lounge spaces, patios, rooftop spaces, so there's plenty of flexibility to tailor the flow of your event depending on your group size. And These outdoor spaces are also just great options for more of a social event where you want to mix and mingle away from the golf, and can also provide a space for additional activations, whether that's live entertainment or hosting a unique brand experience. I also wanted to highlight a few unique venues. The bottom 4 photos, you'll see we have a couple of locations that do offer outdoor mini golf, such as Boise or Ridgeland. And then, that can be booked as well as the golf bays, just again, providing an additional layer of fun and flexibility for your group. You'll see the next photo is the Hideaway Pools at Las Vegas. This is our flagship location. The venue is 4 levels featuring 2 pools and an incredible view of the Strip. Chuck, I know you said you've been there, but it's definitely worth visiting if you're in town. This creates a really great location for large scale events, including those off-sites for trade shows and conventions that are in town. We have the Cowan in Nashville. So being Music City, the Cowan is a fully equipped concert venue attached to Topgolf. We use it for corporate events, fundraisers. Oftentimes we even do live entertainment showcases. And then lastly, the Lakes in El Segundo, which is our venue right outside of LA, features our 10-hole par 3 golf course, which is also available to book for private events. So that's a really unique option right outside of LA. Okay, so this is kind of where your event gets really fun and customizable. So we offer a range of event enhancements that are designed to boost engagement, spark friendly competition. This is going to be your wow moment of your event. So like I mentioned before, while Topgolf really naturally creates a team building environment, we know that about 60% of our guests are new to golf, and oftentimes an event is their first introduction to the sport. So with that in mind, I just want to highlight a few ways we can elevate the engagement regardless of skill level. So the first is our Topgolf coach. So we have on-site pros. They offer tips, swing guidance, mini clinics, even competitions. It helps make the game more approachable for any skill level. So this is definitely my #1 suggestion for any group, despite the size. It truly gets new golfers comfortable and engaged. Next, we have our live leaderboards and tournaments. This really brings excitement to your event in a competitive format. It also offers real-time scoring that encourages that competition. The leaderboards are a little bit less competitive of an enhancement, in which it allows individuals to compete with everyone in the whole event, not just those in your golf bay. So the image here provides an example of how that leaderboard looks on each screen in all the bays within your event. And this also opens the door to hand out prizes and trophies to make it a little bit more exciting. I'll get into tournaments a little, I think on the next slide, in relation to fundraisers, but any event could add on a tournament play so that each bay can compete as a team of 6. So this is more structured and is hosted by a golf coach or a tournament ambassador. But we've seen really amazing creativity throughout the years with tournaments. Anything from team costumes to like an annual trophy they pass around, or I've even had an event hand out green jackets to the winners. We also have team building options. So we offer curated and instructor-led team building activities such as top trivia or top relay race, which is an activity combined with the gameplay. These are meant for corporate team building events, right? Designed to strengthen team communication and collaboration. This became super popular after the pandemic when people were coming back together for the first time. And then we also have on here digital media options. This is how you can amplify your event with branded content, and I'll show some more examples later in the deck. And then retail. You can personalize the event with branded merchandise, including hats, gloves, tumblers, trophies. This becomes super popular around the holidays as well. Okay, so as I mentioned before, over the past 10 years, we've provided a platform for nonprofits and corporations to host fundraising events at a discounted rate to really help maximize the funds raised for their cause. So as many of you might know, traditional golf fundraisers are extremely saturated, and they typically appeal to that avid golfer. I actually, in a previous role, I used to plan golf tournaments for a nonprofit. So I can definitely speak firsthand to the amount of time and coordination is required for those types of events. And really the biggest feedback we get from planners is that Topgolf creates that streamlined process, but it also opens the door to a much bigger pool of donors and participants who wouldn't normally attend a traditional golf course. And of course, our venues are all weather solutions. Without those limitations of a green grass course, they become a really popular option. And, you know, a fundraiser can take many forms. It could be a gala, it could be a cocktail event, it could be a reception. And we do host all of those, but when a group incorporates tournament play, especially those that are transitioning from a green grass course, they find it really strikes a perfect balance. So it satisfies those avid golfers who are oftentimes on the board, while also remaining inclusive to all of those skill levels. So the tournament enhancement unlocks a game called Top Contender, which allows each bay of 6 players to compete as a team in a scramble format. Those live leaderboards are included as an enhancement, so you have scoring in real time, while our coaches and tournament ambassadors are offering instruction, guidance, and they really support the full tournament experience. There's also sponsorship opportunities woven into the experience, such as Beat the Pro, hole-in-one challenges, all designed to really increase that engagement and then also help raise additional funds. And I noted here that we've hosted a few events with the Musket Corporation. They raised more than $380,000, I believe, across 2 fundraising events with us. Just shows how impactful these fundraiser events can be in our communities. Okay. Sorry, my slideshow's a little delayed. Okay. There's another video coming, so it's got a little bit of a lag. So I wanted to take a minute just to highlight a few ways that clients have created an immersive experience at our venues, because this really is a unique offering. Please note that some of these options are only available depending on the venue or the space that you reserve. I'll say the golf bay screens, which are our digital bay ads, is the most common branding option, where you can customize a section of the screens right there in your reserved bays. It can include branding, logos, any sort of messaging you want. But we also have we also have screens in our meeting rooms, our lounges, and our bar areas that you can display content to really make that cohesive visual throughout the venue. You'll see at top right, we have our HD Spectacular screens. These are massive digital displays. It's really high impact visual to the full venue. So these are great for those big, bold brand moments or live content or even sponsor recognition. And some of the most unique enhancements really come from that spatial branding, right? So bringing in table clings and floor clings and pillows and table displays. We've seen Topgolf really transformed in the last few years, thinking outside of the box with our installations and activations, including exterior activations that you'll see here below. So together, really, these elements can create that fully branded experience. It's not just something that's seen, but it's really felt, and people talk about these experiences long after the event ends. Oh, I think this video, I thought it was just going to start on its own. So I've mentioned a couple of times full venue buyouts, which is really the option to give you full flexibility to bring big ideas to life. I provided a few additional examples of ways we've seen clients use Topgolf as that fully branded playground for entertainment and connection. I do have a video here. This is kind of a standout example when Michelob Ultra hosted an event with us for Super Bowl in Las Vegas, where the entire venue was taken over to create like a multi-stage experience, which also included a full concert on the field. So this is a shorter video. I'll play that right now. Yeah, that was a great event. You might have noticed Martha Stewart and Shaq and their swinging golf clubs together. Unique, different event, but just showcases the way we can utilize the full venue. I've also included a couple of other options. We've seen unique installations like the F1 car on the field, floating putting green in the pool. Live art has become super popular. So again, just demonstrates the level of customization you can receive with a full buyout of our venues. All right. Okay, and last two slides, but for the planners who might be hosting events nationwide, we do have a national events team. They act as the single point of contact if you are hosting 3 or more events annually. So the national account managers, they do really help to streamline that process. They also offer centralized billing, MSAs. So planners that fall within our national events program, they do also become eligible for our loyalty rewards, which is based on their annual spend. So I notate this because if you are interested in being connected with this team, you can either reach out to me directly for an introduction, or you can submit an inquiry through the website I listed below. And lastly, I think this went out in the pre-webinar email, but as a gesture of appreciation for joining us today, we did want to extend 20% off event gameplay and 20% off event room rental for corporate 3+ Bay events that you all may book prior to March 31st. The event does have to be executed in 2026. I put my email address here. You can reach out to me directly. I want to make sure that you guys receive that incentive, and I'll put you in touch with your desired Topgolf location. So that's it. I'm going to pass it back to Chuck.
Thank you, Sarah. That was great. I learned some things there. Before I forget, though, I want to say, make sure when you communicate with Sarah via email that you indicate that you attended the webinar here hosted by uniquevenues.com so that she can verify your attendance. We will be sending a list of all registered attendees who were with us throughout the program for her to go ahead and do that verification. So thank you so much, Sarah. I had no idea, despite the fact that we have been working with you for so long, that there is a concert venue in your Nashville location, and I think that's really awesome. So that's fun. So I think there is something in chat here. Let me just see if there's some.
Chuck, we're all good. That question was answered already, so no other questions here.
Okay, great. I have a few I'd like to ask on behalf of the planners that we serve here at Unique Venues. Let's start with this one. So I'm not a golfer, and I actually wonder about how you kind of, when it comes to team building, how you create engagement with groups where some people are great golfers and some people have never held a club before. How do you work with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really every event we host. That I mean, our event guests are for sure a mixture of golfers and non-golfers. I know I made a couple of suggestions in the presentation, but I can't reiterate it enough that having a golf coach or having something more structured as a part of the event um, is well worth it. I mean, Chuck, I'm not a golfer. I've worked for Top Golf for over 8 years now. I'm not a golfer, but I definitely feel comfortable walking into a Top Golf and picking up a club. So I do know that it can be intimidating to walk into a new sport and not know what you're doing. And oftentimes I'm still looking to the golf coaches to ask, like, how do I hold the club? How do I connect with the ball? But I think knowing that, like from a planner perspective, it really makes it an easy solution despite who is in the group, right? So rather than having to even maybe plan multiple outings to speak to the full audience, like we have everything despite the skill level at Top Golf. I mentioned the technology really started with the microchip golf ball, but something we didn't talk about is our top tracer technology. So this is, you might see it if you watch PGA or you are an avid golfer. But this is our technology where a camera tracks the ball in the bay. So you can see the flight of the ball, how far your ball goes. So it's even more precise than the chip. But I say that because it's also opened a new realm of games for us that are more family friendly, more kid friendly, and really speak to the non-golfer, where you're not so focused on trying to hit the ball into a target. You're really hitting it in a direction on the field, which sounds like is what you and I would be playing, Chuck.
Yeah. And the truth is, honestly, Sarah, I've been to Top Golf many, many times. In fact, Unique Venues has had events at Top Golf in a few cities. But
Yeah.
the truth is, I always have a blast doing it because it's just a fun atmosphere. It doesn't feel competitive at all. It just feels chill and fun and great food. So let's
Hey,
talk. A
Chuck.
lot of the people on here are professional planners. And
Hey,
so what, or they should all be. So what do you think surprises the professional planner, the ones who maybe they're familiar with Topgolf, but they've never held an event at Topgolf? What do you think surprises them the most when they actually host an event at Topgolf?
Yeah, Nick and I hear this one all the time, and Nick, feel free to jump in. But definitely the food. I think like people expect elevated bar food, and it is that, but our event menus specifically, they're beyond elevated bar food. And I think that is when we're on the trade show floor year round, that's the thing we hear most is like, your food's actually really good. So that's definitely nice. We've done a little revamping this year with our menus as well. We've added some more vegetarian and vegan friendly options. That's like a no-brainer these days. We introduced the Mediterranean menu, which has been a huge hit. So yeah, we're continuing to evolve the menu. More to come there in 2026, but we're trying to evolve as our competition evolves too.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
Sarah, I'm going to chime in and just say, like, going back to the first question, Chuck, I would say like Sarah's spot on. I think if I could add anything to this group, like what they're surprised about or what they learn, and we battle that objection of, man, we have like a lot of females or we have a lot of non-golfers. Like our ratio actually is 50-50, like, in terms of male female and 60% non-golfer. But what they learn is sometimes Top Golf or the golf component is the backdrop to what the event really is and what Top Golf offers. Like, our pillars too are like great service, great food, great drinks, music. like there in I think the power of like mixing and mingling and networking in our hitting bays, they, a lot of people envision them, they're more like suite like VIP'd. It's you kind of you get waited on hand and foot like while you're in your bay, you don't need to go anywhere. So I think that was an important call out too, is they do learn like you can walk on a busy event night on a Wednesday or Thursday at a Topgolf, and you can see sometimes half of the corporate events or events aren't even playing golf. They're mixing and mingling and networking. So I did want to call that out as well, Chuck.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick. Let's talk about budget. Let's talk about that. We know right now people are tightening their belts a little bit. So people are looking for value. And so I'm wondering, how does Topgolf deliver real value for groups that are holding an event there?
Yeah, it's kind of a two-part question. I mean, being an entertainment company ourselves post-pandemic, we know all about budget. So our sales teams are probably talking about this on a daily basis with clients. So we totally understand. Like for a lot of corporate clients, internal events were the first things that get cut, in pandemic and post-pandemic in regards to, restraining budgets. I will say we did do an evaluation of our overall event pricing this past year. And in most locations, we did adjust our golf costs down to more closely reflect our walk-in pricing. So our overall event pricing has reduced. So I say that just for those that may have inquired with us in the past and we were out of their budget, that may not be the case anymore. But ultimately, I think the second part of this is understanding what's most important to the planner, right? So a lot of companies come to us. The purpose of hosting an event is maybe team morale, or they need to increase client engagement, or whatever the purpose of hosting the event. I think a lot of the options that we showed today will prove that we have value. And I mean, we have a lot of clients that they're repeat visitors of ours. They come once a month, they host a client event, they're closing business on the tee line instead of the golf course. So I think it's definitely two parts. Is our overall cost structure has changed, as well as finding the right event solution based on the planner's needs.
Yeah, and I can honestly, again, speak from my own experience that it is, one of the surprises I had before I really knew as much as I know now about Topgolf being a great partner of yours, is that how it actually is very value friendly. Is that, you expect a particular price point and you go there and you find that it is a very reasonably priced, very nicely priced experience for groups. And so could be one of the reasons why you're wildly popular on uniquevenues.com. So I want to touch on something that I think is important, because again, this is one of my favorite aspects, and one of the surprises that I think people are will say to our own lead management team that they're surprised about, is that you're more than golfing. You're more than the golf bays, and you're more than the bar, and you're more than the food. You actually offer a very professional private event space experience for trainings, presentations, and conferences. And I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit about what people can expect at your average Topgolf when it comes to event spaces outside of the party spaces.
Yeah, it's so funny because if you come in with your family or friends, you probably won't even notice some of our event spaces, because you'll get a text message with where your bay is. You go right to your bay. You aren't necessarily exploring the whole venue, so you may not even know where these are located. The meeting spaces are definitely most popular: the chairman's suite and the signature room, usually located on the second and third level. But our newer builds, like El Segundo and some of our California venues, we built these amazing large outdoor patio spaces on the first floor, which is where the lobby is. And that is creating a really new opportunity for these large first floor events, where you have crazy activations out on the patio. I think you might have seen a Ferris wheel in one of the photos there. We've had like skate ramps installed. So I think, just to reiterate what Nick said, we're just seeing so much more out of the box thinking of Topgolf as the backdrop. Even as far as like removing furniture from bays and having some sort of activity or activation in the base space itself that people are visiting throughout the event. So yeah, we have the standard events, but because our venues are so big, like there's so much flexibility in what we can really execute.
Excellent, excellent. I noticed too, I was at an event. Some of your venues also have rooftop
Yeah.
venues as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of them have multiple patio spaces, rooftop spaces. All of those can be private to your event as well. And they are all located directly behind the tee line. So your guests can really flow between the two spaces and make it private. Some of our spaces are even towards like one end of the tee line. So creating half of a level private to your group is super easy in that case.
Fantastic. Well, we are winding down on our time, and I just want to make sure that uh, any of the fine folks who joined us today, if you have any questions, now is a great time to ask anything that you may have. You can go ahead and type it in the chat uh, or raise your hand, and we'll make sure that we get to you. Any questions?
Nick, anything to add on your end?
No, I think we Sarah and I work together every day. We're on the phone all day with each other. She's in Las Vegas, I'm in Dallas with Joanna at our corporate office. But yeah, I think Chuck, it's been a great partnership with you guys and certainly creates awesome visibility to the marketplace. But I think these platforms are very beneficial for us to just educate. I think we've been doing this for a little while. Sarah said we have 101 locations still growing. But it's educating and of what we can do and our full event capabilities. And I think Sarah did a really nice job at that today. I don't have a lot of other things to add, but no, we'd love to have a conversation with you all and learn about your event initiatives and see how we can team up. But yeah, again, think of us as like more budget friendly. Sarah dropped that out. That's new menu coming. And yeah, just think we're a lot more open and flexible to outside the box creation and tailoring things of your liking as planners. I'll kind of raise my hand. We said no to you guys a lot early on. I think we were experiencing the growth of Topgolf, and we're a lot more flexible than we were. So keep that in mind. But yeah, thanks again, Chuck. This has been awesome today.
You're welcome. Well, we've been working with
Oh,
Topgolf
we got a
for,
hand up.
oh, Sarah Eggleston.
Let me give her the ability to talk. Okay, Sarah, you're able to talk now.
Thanks, Kelly. I don't have a question. I just wanted to just say, I am the primary person here at Unique Venues who reviews and qualifies our leads and sends them out. I just wanted to say how helpful this was in getting to see different aspects of Topgolf and just being able to relay that to planners that I talk to. So I just wanted to say thanks. That's all.
Thank you,
Okay,
Sarah. And
thanks,
actually,
Sarah.
I wanted to say, Sarah, who works here with us, as she said, at Unique Venues, can help you anytime you have an interest. Of course, you all have the direct email now for Sarah, and but if there's any way we can assist you at uniquevenues.com. She's Sarah at uniquevenues.com. She does run our lead department and knows a lot about all of the 100 plus Topgolf venues that we represent on uniquevenues.com. We do have a question here from Melissa Lucky. Melissa asks, can you talk about any sustainability efforts at your venues?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, As you can imagine, we have a big footprint wherever we are. So I will say that it is quite an extensive process when we open a new venue, especially. There can oftentimes be some pushback from local communities just in regards to the size of our facilities, the lights from our facilities, and all of that. But I will say we have a lot of strategy and focus around energy efficiencies. Recycling initiatives, as I'm sure you can imagine. We serve just as much beverages as some of our large venues close by, arenas, and just community focused programs that our director of operations in each venue focus on. So that is a very important question. I know it's important to a lot of companies that host with us, as well as who are some of our nonprofit partners as well, which we have a great platform called Driving for Good, which you can read about more on our website. But yes, community is definitely important, and those questions are important as well. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. Any further questions? Just a quick reminder for those of you who are on here, again, send an email to sarah.labella@topgolf.com about the discount offers that you have privilege to as someone who attended today's webinar. So when you're planning your event, you get a nice discount from Topgolf. So make sure you go directly to sarah.labella@topgolf.com. We just want to say how much we appreciate our partnership with Topgolf and also the 65,000 plus planners who are now regular users of uniquevenues.com. And we are grateful for those of you who decided to join us today. Watch for more programs from us like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck and Kelly. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And reach out if you have
Thanks,
any
everyone.
questions at
Yes.
all.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.